Good day, YouTube. Today I'm doing just a bit of a quick fun comparison video between Fedora 36 on the left hand side here and Ubuntu 22.04, the long-term release on the right side here. So basically these are both the latest releases, so it's always good to do a bit of a matchup, and they are actually the most popular, really two quite popular Linux distributions to say the least. Now, getting into it, they're actually both running on the Gnome desktop environment, as you might see here, but I couldn't blame you for being mistaken about not noticing the similarities here, because Ubuntu is really quite customized the way that it decides to work. So it's copying its older Unity interface in a way there. So it's got the taskbar on the side there by default. You click to have a look at the apps and you can search for what you want, maybe an Office application. For the Fedora side of things, a little bit similar, but not quite there. I mean, it does have its own workspaces setups, which is nice to see there. It's also got its own apps menu there as well. So you type in whatever you need and away you go. No Office apps there today. Now, let's have a look at, say, just the context menus. So you do get actually a little bit more bang for your buck with the context menus for at least for the desktop environment, which is nice to see there. Very, very limited, unfortunately, the way that Fedora chooses to show there. If we delve just a little bit further, we can take a look at the file managers here. Okay, so I do like what Ubuntu does seem to do by default. It's got these nicely customized icons. You can actually change the colors of these, not like in previous versions of Ubuntu, so that's nice to see. I happen to choose blue, my favorite color. Now, we can also see it's got dark mode enabled there, which is really beautiful, nice to see by default there as well. Although these are pretty much the same, so there's nothing really otherwise to write home about there. If we delve a little bit further into the back end there, we'll have a look at the kernel for each of these. So basically, Fedora 36 is running on the latest and greatest kernel, 5.17, whereas Ubuntu 22.04 is running on the 5.15 kernel, so not that much older. Sometimes, if it is a lot older, this is something to take into consideration in the event that you've got older hardware, newer hardware, and you want to support newer hardware. So sometimes Fedora is the way to go, the bleeding edge way that it chooses to run with the kernel there. Now, last but not least, take this little bit here with a bit of a grain of salt, but we'll have a look at the CPU usage and the RAM usage on boot up. So pretty much idling out here for the CPU. That's nice to see for both of them. Now, RAM on boot up is about 1.06, about a gigabyte of RAM on boot up, whereas Ubuntu about 973 megabytes of RAM on boot up. So again, much of a muchness. This is to be expected because they are both running the Gnome desktop environment there. But Fedora always tends to use a little bit more than Ubuntu anyway, just from my previous history of looking into these things. But that's pretty much it, guys. Just a super simple comparison video to show you some of the differences and similarities between these two guys here. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and I do hope to see all of you guys there in the next one.